A bright September day at West Point. Leader to Leader Institute CEO Frances Hesselbein is here on her monthly visit to teach cadets about the principles of leadership. Today, she is joined by her good friend, Ford CEO Alan Mulally.
How are you?
How are you, my favorite leader?
Frances is very well known at West Point because she's served there in a number of capacities, and so I could feel the respect and affection and warmth for Frances. This is somebody that's dedicated her life to serving and contributing to meaningful and compelling visions. And so to be with Frances, to talk about leadership and continuously improve our contribution and our service is just very inspiring to me.
In her early 20s, Frances married into an old newspaper family in Johnstown. Her husband, John Hesselbein, was a journalist, a photographer, and award-winning documentary filmmaker. When their son Johnny was 7 or 8 years old, a neighbor asked Frances to take on a Girl Scout troop.
And I explained to her I knew nothing about little girls. I'm the mother of a little boy. Goodbye. So one day she caught me and said, in the basement of the Second Presbyterian Church are 30 little 10-year-old Girl Scouts, Troop 17, and we're going to have to disband the troop. So I looked at her and I said, all right, I'll take it for 6 weeks, and then we will find a real leader.
Frances remained their leader for 8 years until they graduated from high school.
I think she was more than a leader to most of us. She was like our second mother, at least to me she was.
And
So you come down, huh?
here we are.
Hello, hello.
Shall we?
I can't think of anybody else in my life that meant more to me and my family than Frances.
In 1970, she was asked to become the new executive director of her local Girl Scout Council. Now, for the first time, she was a paid professional staff member and CEO.
In my lifetime, doors have opened, and when a door opens, you go through.
In 1976, another door opened. She was asked to come to New York to interview for the top job in the Girl Scouts of the USA.
When they said, if you took this job, what would you do? And I described the total transformation of Girl Scouts of the USA. Program hadn't been changed for 12 years. This is 1976. And I described throwing out the old hierarchy and bringing in flat, fluid, circular management system. 2 days later, I get a call. We want you to come to New York. Take the job.
So Frances Hesselbein became CEO of the Girl Scouts of the USA. Thanks to her management skills and inspiring leadership, the Girl Scouts staged a dramatic turnaround. Recruitment of young girls and adult volunteers that had been flagging for years began to grow.
She wouldn't want me to say this, but single-handedly turned the organization around to be more diverse, to involve girls from everywhere into Girl Scouting.
I think Frances really put us on the map as not only a well-managed company in America, but one of the leading-edge, well-managed nonprofits in the USA. And in that way, I think, elevated the status of the work that we are all doing.
Many large organizations like the Girl Scouts were now professionally run, but thousands of smaller nonprofits still lacked management and leadership skills. Thus was born the Drucker Foundation for Nonprofit Management, now Leader to Leader Institute, with its founding CEO, Frances Hesselbein, starting a new career.
Without question, she's been the driving force behind Leader to Leader. And now her reach is global.
I guess all my life I've had the same basic philosophy. The mission comes first. Second, I would say respect for all people, the power of inclusion, diversity.
For Frances, everything she does is personal. Leadership is personal. I mean, it's not a sister, it's not a mother, it's not a mentor, it's not just a friend, it's Frances.
A positive outlook and an unswerving set of principles are the constants of Frances Hesselbein's life.
That there is just one reason why we are placed on this earth. That reason is to love and be loved in that order.